Hey guys, welcome back to Bedroom Studio Corner. I am XD. Welcome back to yet another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to humanize your percussion. Percussion is an important part of any track you're making. So I'm going to be showing you more on the shakers because I feel like in a lot of house music, people use shakers a lot. So I'm going to show you how to humanize them and give them a real nice human feel as if like someone is really shaking the maracas. So I'm going to be showing you this by using velocity, and velocity is just another name for volume, in case you didn't know. So before we get into this, if you're new, subscribe down below, smash the like button, and let's get into FL Studio. So if you don't have my sample pack yet, you can check it out. I've got a link in the description where you can download it for free. You can download my 2 sample packs. So I'm in the XDizzle Music Deep House sample pack here, and I'm in the shakers folder. So there's a lot of shakers in here that are interesting. So the key to shakers and most percussion is all about controlling velocity. So you can use maybe like 4 different types of shakers in your track, and then you can make them all sound like a one percussion sound. Like, let me show you. If I pick out 4 different types of shakers here, and I'm going to show you how you can tune them up to make them. I'll choose maybe this short one here and this one. I'll just try different textures. That one as well. Maybe that one. Let me replace that one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just add, let's say add 4 steps. Just pull back my tempo to 120. So the common thing to do with shakers is maybe you'll just fill up all the steps with a shaker, and that's not gonna sound interesting at all. That is not interesting. That's just a shaker that's just moving around. But what you would want to do is you would want to go into the piano roll, and you can see the control here. You can control velocity. If you click here, you can also control the panning. So you can make your shakers move with the panning. Like if I do this, you'll see how they're going to move when I play them back. So if you have headphones on like I do, you'll be able to hear that they're moving from left to right. So that's also a nice feel to kind of add a different texture to your shakers. But let's go back to the velocity. Velocity, as I said, is just like volume. So whenever you see anywhere that's written velocity, that's basically the volume of the sample or whatever it is you're controlling. So what you can do is you can kind of play around with the velocity of some of these notes, and then you can hear how it sounds. So here I just cut out these 3, like all these 3s in the middle, and made sure that on the first beat the shaker is louder. So that already sounds much more interesting already. So you can play around with this and kind of move it around like this, if you will. And you can move it around and play around with the velocity to achieve kind of different results. So if I leave this like this and then I just add like another shaker, like I'll just add this over here. So that's already an interesting type of percussion that I already made here just by controlling the velocity that we have down here. So you can now start to add more shakers in different places and just playing around with the velocity. And you can also change the channel volume that's over here as well. It will also help if you just want to like kind of do a pre-mix before you actually go and mix outside, like on the mixer, to go and actually do a proper mix of all the sounds as well. So you can just use this volume to turn down the sounds that are really coming across really loud. So now to further enhance these sounds, I can just select all of them, Control L, send them to the mixer. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just group all these, Control Shift, and select an extra empty channel, and I'll right click on it, track routing, create submix. Then I'll just click on the thing pointing down, click on perks, and There we go. Now we have a perk bus. What we're going to do with this bus is we're going to try and control the overall sound of our percussion, and we just need to make it dirty and gritty and make it sound like it's a sample instead of make them feel naked like you just threw percussion samples out there. So now we just need to unite all of them into one sound. So we can do that by coming here to the mixer and adding firstly a EQ just to see where our frequencies are landing on. Now, as you can see, the frequencies are mostly dominant in the highs over here. There's not so much lows, but you just want to cut them out just in case. So I can lift a bit of the high mid over here and lower the highs a bit because this is percussion. Maybe you want to add hats. If you want to add hats, then at least they can dominate more on the high area here. So that's why it's also a good thing just to kind of slightly lower them down, you know, just a few decibels down, maybe, you know, 3 decibels down. And just raise here in the middle as much as you can, maybe like around 6. So now at least we've EQ'd them. Then we can add another effect here. Maybe we can add a compressor. Now this compressor is just going to control the sound. I'll just lower the threshold. And I'll just raise the gain to kind of bring back that level to 4 decibels. Okay, now let me play this back without the processing that I did so far. Already you can tell that there's a difference. Now I have a plugin that I like to use mostly for distortion that's called Head Crusher. Now it's very powerful. I usually use it on 808s and basses as well. So I'm just going to use this one for now. I'll just input the drive. If I exaggerate this, you can hear that the drive is crushing a lot. So if I put this after the compressor, you're going to hear how it's going to sound. It sounds like it's adding gain, but it's actually adding body and kind of crushing the sound and and kind of squeezing it into one type of a sound. So I'm just going to slightly add this. You won't be able to hear it like completely change, but it's right there. It's giving the percussion a bit more body. Without and with. So now after doing this, we can then add lastly a transient processor from FL Studio. So I love this transient processor, especially with percussion and drums, because you can now further control the sound of the drums, whether you want them to really pop or you want them to be softer or you want them to kind of be gated or you want them to be more wholesome. So I'm going to play around with the attack and the release and you're going to hear the difference. And I'm also going to show you the split balance between the dry and wet. So I'm going to keep it right there in the middle. And then I'm just going to play with the attack and the release and you'll hear what it's going to be doing. So now it's cutting a lot of the attack. You see what I did now? It's now kind of gating and making it, you know, feel empty. Like it's like we went back to our original sound. Now, if I go the other way, it sounds like it's now over compressing the percussion. They sound more wholesome now. If I lift up the attack, you can hear that they're starting to become more sharper. And you can see here on the level here that when the attack was down, these pointed things were pointing down, which means it was kind of bringing down all those transients and lowering them so that the sounds are not very sharp and, you know, sting in your ear and really hit your ear loudly. And then when I went to the right side and kind of lifted it up, you could see that the pointy things were now pointing up, which means it was now raising the transients of the percussion itself. So it's up to you and how you want your percussion to sound like, for you to make, you know, the settings and choose exactly what you want to do with your percussion. So that's it for this video. That's what I wanted to show you on how to make your percussion much more interesting, because if I can play this without all this processing that I added and with, you can hear the difference. This is where we're coming from. Sounds normal, sounds, you know, like nothing is happening, nothing special. But if I put this back, it's starting to sound like a sample. So with all these steps of all these effects we're adding, you're adding another layer of difference and adding another layer of processing that's making the sound much more nice and much more easygoing and much more organic, instead of just sounding like you just put a few samples together naked and you didn't do anything to them. So I hope you find this very helpful, and I hope you also do this in all your projects, and make sure that you've got nice percussion that feel like they're coming straight out of Africa, with the shakers and the maracas and everything. Let me know down below in the comments how you process your percussion and how you work with percussion. Do you like them to be humanized, or do you like them just normal without doing so much to them? If you're new to the channel, subscribe down below, leave a like if you like this video. I'm gonna check you guys out in my next video. I'm X and I'm out. Peace.